Hey guys, so this is going to be my January rewind where I mention all of the books that I read this month and just briefly tell you what star rating I gave them on Goodreads, and then I also have 5 books that I'm going to try my hardest to read in February. So let's get started, and hopefully this won't be as long as last month's was. The first book I read this year was When a Crocodile Eats the Sun, A Memoir of Africa by Peter Godwin, and I left that book at home when I came to school, but I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was the first book I'd ever read that took place in Africa, and mostly in Africa, and the guy who wrote it grew up in Africa and now lives in New York, I think. But it talks about, he's from Zimbabwe, and it talks about Zimbabwe and a lot of the political stuff still, I think, going on in Zimbabwe, and it was just really, really interesting because that's something that you never see, or you never hear about Africa in that kind of sense and what it's actually like to live there, And I really, really liked that book, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read this month was Starbright by Rachel Higginson. This is the first book in the Starbright series. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's the only book this month that got all 5 stars. For those of you who don't know, Rachel Higginson wrote the Starcross series, which I am absolutely obsessed with, and I just learned a couple weeks ago that there's actually a 5th Starcross book out. Even though the 4th one was supposed to be the last, and now there's a 5th one, and I just bought it earlier today, and I'm freaking out about that, but I love this one as well. Not quite as much as Starcross, which I didn't really expect to happen because I'm absolutely obsessed with those books, but I really like this one, and the second one is already out. I'm not sure about after that, but I'm actually kind of mad at myself because I bought more books for my Kindle today, and completely forgot to get the sequel to this book. I got the next Starcross book, and I got 2 books, the first 2 books of a new series, but failed to get the second book of this series because I completely forgot about it. So I'm kind of mad about myself, but I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, so of course I want to read the next one as soon as possible. The next book I read this month was Believing in Narnia, A Kid's Guide to Unlocking Secret Symbols of Faith in C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia by Natalie Gillespie. I really needed to figure out how to say her name. But I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's a really great book for kids who will, be interested in it. It's definitely not a book that all kids would like, but if you have a kid who would like this kind of book, it's definitely a great book. And then Sound by Shelley Workinger, I think is how you say her last name. I really need to get better at last names. This is the 3rd book in the Sound trilogy, or the 3rd book in the Solid trilogy. The book is called Sound. And I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, I think, and this was supposed to be the last book, but it's kind of left open-ended, so as I talked about in my review, I'm not sure about that, but I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it. I loved the characters. I loved the whole idea. It's about a group of teenagers who find out that when they were in the womb, their moms, they all have, all their parents were in the military, even though some of them are, retired and stuff, but all of them had at least one parent in the military, and this military doctor secretly gave their moms pills to genetically alter them without anyone knowing, and the army finds out, and so the army brings all the teens together to this camp, and this is the 3rd book in that series, and it's great. I loved it. And then the last book that I read this month was Faded Denim by Melody Carlson, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. That's the lowest rating of the books I read this month. And I haven't reviewed this yet, so I'm not really going to say much, but I have really, really mixed feelings about this book, so I'll talk about that in my review, though. It's about, the main character develops an eating disorder, so it's about, that, and just body image and stuff like that, but really mixed views. I just have complicated feelings that I'll talk about in my review for it. And now moving on to the 5 books that I'm going to read in February, so my February TBR. First book I'm actually in the process of reading. I'm on chapter 7, as you can see, and I don't want to lose my place, so I'm not going to show you the cover, but it is Witch Hunt by Casey Blake, and it's actually the 2nd in a series, but the books aren't connected. It's completely different characters, but all of the books in the series are about like witches playing games, which might sound kind of weird, but like the first one, there was these three sisters who played a game to like bewitch these guys and see who could like keep them bewitched the longest, I think what it might have been. I don't know, it's been a while since I read that book, but this one, same idea. I'm not entirely sure on it yet. I've only read six chapters, but I really like the characters so far, and it's really intriguing, and yeah, I'm liking it so far, but it's January 31st when I'm filming this, so I'm definitely not going to finish it tonight, so that'll be the first book I read of February. The next book I plan on reading this month is Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron by Michael A. Stackpole. I've never read any books in the Star Wars extended universe. I love the Star Wars movies, but and I've been wanting to read the books forever and never had, because I had so many books I needed to read at home and I didn't want to go out and like buy any. But then my cousin had this entire series and gave them to me, so now I have this entire series, and so I'm going to start reading it. This is book 1. I think there are 9. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to read that next month. The next book is Jack and Yanny, I think that's how you say that, Love Harry Potter by Mary E. Twomey. I hope I pronounced that stuff right. So I think I originally heard about this book on MuggleNet, but I think as you can see, they're wearing Team Jacob shirts on the cover, and I give them props for that, because it's Team Jacob and not Team Edward. But, it's been, as soon as I heard about this book, I immediately went and bought it, so that shows that it was really good, but now I'm kind of, like, having a hard time remembering the synopsis, but I think it involves, like, the girl is kind of like a nerd, and like reads Harry Potter, Twilight, I guess, and she goes across the country to visit places from these books. I don't know if it's country, world, I think it's country. I think she's going across America to visit all these places from books, including Forks. I think Forks is specifically mentioned, actually, in the synopsis, but, and the guy, I like how I'm pointing to these cartoon figures, the guy like follows her to tell her he's in love with her or something like that, I think is what it is. But the whole idea of going on a road trip to visit places from books, and Harry Potter being in the title, and Twilight, and just, I had to immediately buy this book, and I am incredibly excited. There's a price sticker still on this book, and I'm going to get that off before I show it to you. The next book I plan on reading in February is The Complete Idiot's Guide to Digital Video by Carl Bardosh, I guess. Obviously, I think you can tell why this book would appeal to me. I've had it for a really long time, haven't read it yet. I really, really want to get better at videos, because, like, I know the basics by now, obviously. I still don't have good editing software. I use YouTube still, which is really sad. I really need to just, one Christmas or birthday, I just need to ask for editing software and, like, nothing else, because it's so expensive, but, like, nothing else except that. Or I probably have enough money for it, but then I feel like I'm going to spend all my money on that I'm not going to have money for anything else. But yeah, anyway, that's a completely different rant. Anyway, so I hope that this will help me improve videos. Let's hope. I have one on blogging too, to improve my blog, so I need to like get both of those read to like help me. And then the 5th book that I hope to get to this month, although I'm not really sure if I will, can you guess what it is? After I went on my whole, like, I told you I bought books for the Kindle earlier, and I went on and on about Starcrossed, and I told you that I bought the book. But anyway, yeah, I bought The Reluctant King by Rachel Higginson, which is the 5th Starcrossed book that I did not know existed until a couple weeks ago, and I'm so excited. It's not on my Kindle, so I can't show it to you. It's on Amazon, but I don't have Wi-Fi on my Kindle at school because we had problems with that, and so it hasn't been delivered. I'm gonna have to plug my Kindle in order to get it on my Kindle. But yeah, I'm incredibly excited. The first 4 books were Eden's like story, I guess, that she was the main character, and on this one the main character is her twin, Avalon, and I'm incredibly excited, like so excited. I'm not even reading it until like the end of the month and I'm already excited, but yeah, anyway. So those are the books I read in January and the books I'm going to try to read in February, and I hope this video isn't too long, but I've gotten really excited now because I was talking about Starcrossed. But anyway, I'm going to get back to what I was doing, and hopefully this isn't too long, and I will see you guys later.